Hello, friends, and welcome. Sorry for that bit of delay. I saw my internet just crap out a little bit right as I started, but it looks like we're doing pretty good now. But if there are more issues, let me know. But yes, hi, my name is Popeye. Today we're playing some more Higurashi Chapter 5 Mayakashi. As always, we're going to start with some potential trigger warnings. This game's not for everyone. If any of these things are not something you care to watch and or hear about, please find somewhere else to enjoy your day, evening, whatever it is for you. This game series deals with the following issues: uh, gore, blood, death, dismemberment, torture, uh, assault, any of those things against a minor. Um, yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. I can see you, internet. I can see you doing things, not doing things. We'll give it 1 second. What are you not liking? You never start late, do you, ma'am? Okay, that's all fine. That's all fine. Come on, internet. Don't do this to me. I thought we were friends. Battery? No, this is a desktop. There's no battery. Oh, assault and battery, maybe. Children with knives. Yes, there are children with knives. Suicide. There's something I forgot to add. Suicide is now on our list of things that are in this game series. Please, internet, don't do this to me every time. It. Internet. Thank you, Samuses. If we can update that to be router's dead, maybe. You gonna chill out, internet? You gonna cool? Be nice if you were. No, you're not gonna be cool. No, I didn't intentionally misunderstand. My headspace was in the like computer performance, and then I came back and like, wait, I bet you were talking about this other thing. Yes, that makes more sense. Hey, sorry about this. My internet does not like me most streams, apparently. I do not like it in return, so I guess that's okay. Router's dead. There we go. I mean, okay, you're okay. You're okay. Dang it, I told you not to push that button. I hope the world doesn't end. No, just my internet? Okay. It's 11 button scares. Holy crap, what's with you, internet? They'll go like, fine, fine, nothing, fine, fine, nothing. Nothing else is being overly used. CPU, disk, GPU, memory is all fine. It's literally just internet. Fine, you're not doing anything. Antivirus isn't doing anything. Windows updates aren't doing anything. Are we cool now? You haven't dropped to 0 in a minute. That's nice. Okay. Okay, I think I'm gonna give it a shot now. It hasn't conked out on me in a minute. I'll take that as a sign that it's cool now. Okay, let's try this again. What was I saying? Yeah, warnings. Assault with a battery. Blood, gore, murder, torture, assault, suicide. I think you are good. I think. My internet has shown stability for over a minute. That's usually the sign. At least for me. So yeah, if any of those things and or my internet are not for you today, please find somewhere else that you will enjoy tonight. Okay, now for our summary. Last episode, a lot of things happened. I'm going to try and cover the major plot points. There might be some things I miss, but as Shion, we tried to go and speak to Keiichi. The police came, basically blackmailed us to go away so they could talk to him alone. We went to school pretending to be Mion. We interrogated Keiichi there, only to find out that we had asked him, Mion, not us, had asked him the same things the day before about going to the ritual storehouse. We confronted Rika, who, as one of the three families we believed had the power to suggest someone to get demoned away. We pushed her around literally to the ground and made her cry, and told her if she was really someone who we could trust on, that she would have Keiichi eliminated. We went to the town hall meeting as Mion and told them about the punishment against Mio and Tomitake, how they've already been taken care of, and that Shion has already been captured, and that Keiichi's the only one remaining. We did that. Then we told the mayor that he needed to come speak to the grandma, the old hag. Took him in, had him waiting, asked him some questions about Shion. He seemed cool with Shion, that he would advocate for, not severe punishment, not, death or being demoned away for her. But as soon as we got into the topic of of Satoshi, he was like, "Oh yeah, he deserved to die. Whatever, he deserved to die." And at that point, we lost our minds. We tased him, put him in the dungeon, hanging up by his wrists, and hanging him up just high enough that he has to be on his tiptoes. Gosh dang it, internet! Why? Yes, thank you. I know that there were issues. I would like you to not have issues. That would be ideal. How bad is the internet right now? Like, I can see it looks pretty bad. I'll be honest. It looks pretty bad. Um, what else can I do? That's already connected. That's not connected. That's connected. That's doing its thing. You gonna be cool now, internet? Gonna be cool? Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay, yeah. Say a little bit of fair bit of delay. Okay. Okay, yeah, it looks reasonably stable again to me. We'll give this, was this round 3? Round 3. Um we hung up the mayor in our dungeon, and then what were we doing? I think we were I think at that point we just go back. Oh, I missed the plot point where we go and yell at Mion and complain that. No worries, Samus. If you have to go for any reason, you do it. Even if it's because my internet sucks, that's okay. I missed the plot point where we yell at Mion and complain that we were actually Mion, she was Shion. When we used to do the thing where we'd trade places, there was one day where she traded to become Mion and was sent away and got a giant tattoo on her back so that they could differentiate her, the Mion, from Shion, and then we were taken away to live with our father, I think it was, and she stayed at the main house. That happened. We yelled at her to give us her name back, that it wasn't fair that we had to live as Shion when we were Mion. And then we were chilling in our house, and someone comes to the door, and it's Rika. She's asking for some soy sauce. At first we're like, huh, why would you walk halfway across town for soy sauce? But there was a letter on our fridge that we had gotten, like a barrel, like literally like a me-sized barrel of soy sauce, and we're just like, we can't use it all, come and grab some. So we're like, okay, guess that checks out. We let her into the house. We're about to get her some soy sauce when she sprays us with pepper spray, throws us on our back, hits us with the pepper spray a couple more times, accidentally sprays herself a little bit. We knock her off. She's got a syringe as well as the pepper spray. We end up tasing her, injecting her with the syringe. She starts to go crazy from whatever's in this syringe. She picks up a kitchen knife, holds it against the side of the wall, and rams her throat into it several times, then rips her own throat out because she doesn't want to be tortured by us. And yeah, that's basically where we ended up. A lot of stuff happened. I know I'm like 17 minutes into the stream, and part of that was probably like 10 minutes of that is my internet sucking. 7 minutes of that is summary. A lot of stuff happened. Yeah. With that, we're gonna continue. If that should give you an idea of what's up ahead, if a girl rams her throat into a knife and then rips her own throat out, that's the kind of stuff we're in store for in this game. If that is not for you, please find somewhere that'll be better for you tonight. So yeah. So I think we disposed of her body in the dungeon, and now we're like, well, crap, I need to clean up everything. And that's where we are. Okay, internet looks stable. That's good. Hopefully it stays that way. Internet, be cool. Let's do this. I needed to at least clean up the kitchen. While I was putting old newspapers on the floor to absorb the blood, the phone rang. I didn't want to answer, but maybe I should. I should answer it and talk to whoever it was.
Hi, Sonozaki desu. いつもお世話になってるでございます。北条と申しますですわ。
I was surprised to hear the Hojo name, but I realized right away that it was Satoko.
あ、Satoko? どうしたの？夜分遅くに申し訳ありませんわね。うちのリカがお邪魔してませんこと？
Ah, yes. Ever since Satoko Hojo was abandoned, she had been living with Rika Furude. Of course she'd get suspicious that Rika hadn't returned yet.
ああ、来てるよ。あら、まだお邪魔してますの？もう夕飯の時間ですのに。
Da 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 da.
ねえ、さとこ。実はね、今日さ、ちょいとおかずを作りすぎちゃってね。リカちゃんにも夕食を振る舞ってるんだよ。そうなんでございますの？さとこも来なよ。さとこの分もあるからさ。リカちゃんはもう食べてるよ。もうリカったら。わかりましたわ。ちょっと片付けをしてから参りますわね。では、ごめんあそばせ。うん。待ってるからね。じゃ。
Click. Oh, was that the end of the chapter? Were we really that close at the end of last stream? Jeez, this music. No, we weren't. Okay. Hey, it's our dad. Well, not us. We aren't Keiichi this round.
園崎さんから。園崎さんってどっち？あれ？妹？そんなのは知らん。自分で出て聞きなさい。もしもし、ミオンか？シオンか？
私です。
It's me. Very helpful.
シオンです。こんばんは。
シオン。ゆべはすまなかった。つい興奮して。
Oh yes, and I left this out of the summary. Keiichi called and was in hysterics because he's like, I'm gonna die! Help me! It's your fault because you invited me into the ritual storehouse, please! He must have been worried about how I hung up the phone so suddenly last
私
night.
たちは運命共同体なんです。互いの無事の確認が自分たちの安全の唯一の保証なんです。
ああ、それについては同感だ。
だから私たちは互いの知っている情報を共
I
有す
wonder
る
how
必
many
要があ
kids
り
don't
ま
know what a
す。
rotary phone is.
高野さんたちみたいな死に方をしないために。
Gulp. I heard Keiichi swallow
では、
loudly.
昨日の続きを話します。
Internet has decided to be cool so far and actually be almost 100% stable.
もう怒らないで聞いてくれますよね。
ああ、大丈夫だ。
Okay, I've seen your message, ma'am. I am delaying. When you have seen this and refreshed, please put it in chat. You are refreshed? That's what a good drink can do. Makes you refreshed. Keiichi agreed to be quiet and listen. I explained the dangerous situation Keiichi was in once again, where he might get killed by someone. Probably me. Just like how some evil people in the village attacked Takano-san and Tomitake-san, they might attack us any day. There's your hydrate, and Samus is with the, what's a rotary phone? It was ironic, of course, that while I was warning him, I was also the one who made sure the curse would fall upon
互いに
him.
何か気になることがあったら報告し合いましょう。互いの持つ小さな断片を合わせていけば、ひょっとすると高野さんたちを殺した、いえ、今年の事件
That's a
に限らない
rotisserie phone, Mim.
過去の連続事件を解決する鍵が見つかるかもしれません。
そうだな。 確かにそうだ。
ではまずは言い出した私からいきます。
You have a script that makes your text like that? Oh, what's a rotary phone? I mean, it's just capitalizing every other letter. Ignore spaces, yeah?
最近誰かに監視されているような気がします。
I was making this up. I just wanted him to realize how urgent the situation was.
と言っても気のせいかもしれません。でも一応報告します。今は気のせいだと思っていますけど、もしもケイちゃんも同じように誰かに監視されているように感じるなら、これは気のせいじゃないのかもしれませんから。
そういうことなら安心しろ。少なくとも俺の方は大丈夫だ。
Yes, this is similar to Game 2. We're just on the other side of the telephone. And also from this lens, we can tell which times Keiichi thought he was talking to Mion when he was in fact talking to Shion. Seemed like nothing had happened to Keiichi today, at least. Now that the heads of the three families were gone, it was possible the curse system had been destroyed entirely. If that was the case, then Keiichi might not be attacked after all. But if there was someone who did want to attack him, that meant part of the system was still alive. In other words, my mission wouldn't be accomplished just yet. Keiichi is like a litmus test in this situation. I'd know whether or not all my enemies were gone depending on if Keiichi got bitten. Yeah, playing these games is good. Honestly, watching the anime, as long as you don't start with Season 5 Go, it is not a remake. I've said this many times, it is not a remake. So the games, from what I've heard, there's 8 base games, there's more spin-off games which aren't yet on Steam. And to my knowledge, the only way to play them is through non-legitimate ways. Those 8 base games take approximately 100 hours of playthrough at a normal speed. If you're just like mashing through it, then yeah, you can go faster. Whereas the anime at 24 episodes at half an hour a piece is 12 hours for the first season, 12 hours for the second season. Yeah, 100 hours. That's the main problem. Whereas the anime, it's just the first 2 seasons that cover those 8 games. The 3rd and 4th seasons cover some of the extra games. They're like side story kind of stuff. Now, yeah, take that 100 hours with a grain of salt. That's what I read online. I have no idea the kind of person who said that, like, what their, like, I don't know, reading level or how quickly they're pressing through is. But yeah, they can be quite long. Some of the games are fairly short. The last game in the series, I think, is only supposed to be about 10 to 12 hours, maybe, if you're not streaming it. Yes, so sorry about this tangent, everyone. I recently being within the past month, I watched a video about some of the no worries, Samus says, if you need to lay down, go lay down. And I hope you feel better. Yeah. So I recently watched a thing, and basically they described, you know, the eternal fight of original work versus the anime. Normally that's the manga versus the anime. In this case, it's these are technically called sound novels, is what they call them, because there's a lot of scenarios, like this right here on screen, where there's actually no visuals, it's all sound. The point of Higurashi was less to be about visuals, and you can see that from the really crappy original drawings. It was meant to almost be like an audio book, where it's supposed to get you through sounds, and not through the images. But yes, anyways, in the anime, you obviously have to make cuts if there's 100 hours worth of content, unless you're going to do shot-for-shot kind of stuff. And what that turns out to be is a lot of the more mundane, everyday, slice-of-life kind of stuff gets thrown out the side. And certain characters in this series have a lot more of that slice of life stuff directed at them that slowly builds up their character over time. Whereas other characters, you see them more in these intense moments. In Shion is a great example. There's a lot of very sudden, intense moments with her that really define her character. In a lot of ways that, like, if you play the game, you can see, I guess, some of more of the build-up to her insanity at this point. But she is more driven by these high-profile plot points that are going to stay in the anime, more or less. The one exception being the part where they switched as kids. I don't know why they pulled that out. They literally have the scene with her, like, yelling at Mion, slamming the bars. I don't know why they didn't put that in. They really should have. But yeah. That's my tangent about that. And this is why it takes longer, because I do like a 5-minute tangent about it. He sure is a very useful man. After that, I went along with what Keiichi said. I made sure he was fearful of Mion, as well as all of the 3 families. I explained to him the possibility that the whole village was involved, that the curse of Oyashiro-sama might be some sort of system. Then I remembered Shion wouldn't know too much about the disappearance of the mayor, so I continued. Gosh dang it, internet! My tangent is not that boring. Gonna be a cool internet. Gonna be cool. No cops, kinda cool. Okay, yes, no. Looks like it's okay. I'm gonna roll with it.
君吉のおじいちゃんが行方不明になったって本当ですか？
村長さんのことか。なんだシオン、聞いてないのか？
何も知らないです。お父さんが電話でそう話してるのをまた盗み聞いただけですから。
ああ、実はな、ゆうべ会合の後、家に帰ってこないとかでひなみ沢中で大騒ぎになったんだ。村中で探したみたいだけど、まだ見つかったって話は聞かないな。警察も探してるはずなんだけど。
No, don't worry, I found him. He's in my torture room.
なんでそんな大事な話を先にしてくれなかったんですか？
悪い。もう知ってると思ってたんだよ。隠す気なんかなかった。
ケイちゃん、私どうしよう。
This acting is phenomenal. Remember, this is a, like, 15, 16-year-old girl who in the past, I don't know, like 2 hours has murdered 2 people, and now is pretending she has no idea about any of it, and crying on the phone.
どうした？話せよ。俺たちの間で隠し事はなしだろ？
No, no secrets, I promise.
ごめん。隠すつもりはなかったんです。ちょっと言うのが前後したっていうか。
俺たちは仲間だろ。怒ったりしないから正直に話せよ。
私、君吉のおじいちゃんに打ち明けたんです。
君吉のじいさんってのはシオンにとって相談できる心安い人なんだろう？
はい、私のこと小さい頃から本当に可愛がってくれて、私いつも意地悪なことをしてたのに、いつもニコニコと笑って私の言うことは何でも聞いてくれて、本当に優しい人だったのに。
落ち着けよシオン。別に死んでしまったわけじゃないだろう。そんな簡単に諦めるなよ。
Keiichi tried to make me feel better, but he had no idea what was actually going on. It really made me laugh.
村長さんに私、晩最後殿に忍び込んだこと、誰かにそれを見られてて、私たちを狙っている人がいるって。
村長さんは高野さんたちがまともじゃない死に方をしたのを知ってるのか？
はい、知っていました。二人がお社様のたたりで死んだから、私はその怒りを鎮める生贄にされるんじゃないかって。 本当に率直に言いました。
ああ、それで
君吉のおじいちゃん怒らなかった。そしてにっこり笑って、しおんちゃんがちゃんと反省してるなら鬼隠しになんかなるものかって本当に笑いながら任せなさいって。
I actually got a little sad while saying that. Uncle Kimiyoshi had been so reliable. I was happy when he said he would protect Shion. I truly was happy. If only he hadn't said anything to insult Satoshi-kun, he wouldn't have had to die.
私が打ち明けてしまったから。
よせよ、シオン。シオンのせいじゃないよ。
いいえ、私のせいなんです。私が打ち明けてしまったから。
Shion's such a good liar that from Keiichi's point of view this entire time, Shion is nice and genuine, and Mion is the crazy one. Not to say Mion didn't have some crazy aspects about her, but yeah.
君吉のおじいちゃんが知ってしまったから。だから殺されてしまったに違いないんです。だって打ち明けてすぐなんですよ。打ち明けて大丈夫って言ってくれたその晩に消えてしまった。
It was such a strange feeling. I wasn't upset at all, but as I pretended to be upset, I muttered words of prayer for Kimiyoshi's safety. I started to feel that emotion growing inside me. I was only pretending to be distressed to fool Keiichi, yet the emotion I feigned began welling up inside me. It's like I was being consumed by that emotion. So the words coming from my mouth weren't words I intentionally said. They were words that consuming emotion forced me to say. It was like someone else inside of me was doing the talking instead. I was just watching that person talk from a short distance away.
話すんじゃなかった。これは全部私たち4人の咎だったはず。他人に話してはいけないことだったんです。
Both of them are crazy, but I think Shion's, you know, just a little bit more. Just a bit.
話したから殺されてしまった。知ったから殺されてしまった。打ち明けたから殺されてしまった。
おい待てよ。そんなやつなら打ち明けた村長を殺す前にお前から先に殺すに決まってるじゃないか。順番が違うよ。殺されるなら俺かシオンが先。他のやつらが先に死んだりするものか。
順番はあります。私たちを一番最後に殺すつもりに違いないんです。
は？なんだって？
Which Shion, I'm confusing you.
人思いに殺さないで、親しい人たちから順々に殺していって、散々悲しい思いをさせた後に殺す。そういう狙いに違いないんです。
What I just said scared even me. Killing our loved ones first to harm us emotionally, and only then kill us at the height of our suffering. Whoa. I felt something crawling up my spine. That's awesome. It's an awesome idea. I must not be human anymore. I really am a demon. A human can never think of such cruel things. That would be one incredible hell. Your close friends dying one at a time after being tortured, and after that, you yourself getting killed? What a great way to destroy someone's life. Why was I getting so excited about this? Because I could get going with that plan right away.
リカちゃん！リカちゃんだ！
え？今、なんて言ったんですか？
俺も実は打ち明けたんだ。リカちゃんに今日。
リカちゃんってリカちゃまのことですか？
How many people in the village are named Rika?
フルデ神社のリカちゃま？
そうだよ、リカちゃんだよ。
Which was the previous game we played on stream? The previous Higurashi or just the previous game?
俺もどうしようもなく不安で打ち明けたんだ。リカちゃんに
そうしたらリカちゃまはなんて。
猫さんの心配しすぎなのです。僕がきっと何とかしてあげますですよ。
The previous one is the one where we play the cop who comes to the village a couple of years prior to this, after the kidnapping of the Minister of Construction's son.
リカちゃんはそう言って。ごめんシオン。俺ちょっとリカちゃんのことが心配になっちゃって。
はい、そんなに心配でしたらぜひ電話を。
The one prior to that would be, if this is 5 or 3, uncle hunting. 3 was uncle hunting.
安否を確認してみてください。
Yeah, the one I just mentioned it's probably the shortest one in the series. I think it was only like 4 streams or something. It wasn't long at all. Maybe 5. But the gist of that one is, this is back when the dam construction war was happening, and the gist of the plot is... Yes, this one matches episode 2. Yeah, but the gist of the last one is we play a young cop who comes here to... Basically, when the minister's grandson gets kidnapped, they send police to investigate all these leads. This village is supposed to be like a long shot kind of thing. Are we going to be playing 6 sometime soon? We're probably taking a break from this, and going back to Steins Gate 0 is my plan for after this.
そうさせてもらう。
また明日もこのくらいの時間に連絡します。それをもって私の安否確認としてください。
わかった。待ってる。じゃあな。
This one was really just a break from Steins Gate, so... Keiichi hung up roughly. What a hilarious conversation with Keiichi. Everything was just too damn funny. Keiichi, my bruh, go ahead and struggle helplessly. Run all over the village and see if the curse is still alive. Go ahead and see if my enemies are still around. I'll laugh for a while and then calm down. I'd already got rid of the bicycles and shoes belonging to Rika and Satoko. My house was, for the moment, taken care of. I could expect Keiichi to run around in a panic, to ask for help from someone, and ultimately come to me on. More than likely, the youth group would end up looking for Rika like they did with the mayor. I'd probably have to endure another long night again, knowing nobody would find her. I decided to wait until the phone rang. I killed time by watching TV until it did. They've cut this part out. I'm actually not sure why they cut this part out, but Satoko called being like, hey, where's Rika? She didn't come back. And we're like, oh, just come over, we're having dinner at my place. So we baited Satoko to come in, and then they cut this part out where we have locked her in the dungeon. I don't know why. I guess they're just like, we've already thrown like 5 people in the dungeon, it's fine.
もし冗談だったらかなり怒るよ。
I scolded Keiichi for suspecting that Rika had disappeared.
みーちゃん。
I have no idea, ma'am.
本当に冗談だったなら怒るんじゃなく笑おうよ。
This is probably the longest game in the series, so I wonder if they got to this point and they were just like, we need to cut something out.
だって冗談なんだから。私たちはそれが
And the
冗談であ
only
る
reason why I can think of why they would cut that out is within short succession, we had tortured the mayor and then watched our friend commit suicide. So I wonder if they wanted to just like make it not so much darkness in this one chunk.
そうだね。機嫌の悪そうなことを言ってごめん。
Rena rebuked me. While she looked quiet, I felt that she could be very terrifying under her skin. I had no basis for that impression, but I still felt that way. I just didn't like her. I disliked her ever since that rainy day at the bus stop. It wasn't that we didn't get along, though. How should I put it? I was at a loss for how to explain. Ah, that was it. I found a good example. When I was little, I always wanted to play tennis. I had my relatives take me to a tennis court, and they all praised my skill. I was doing nothing more than hitting a ball with a racket, but they told me I was talented, and that made me happy. When I went to school, I told my classmates I played tennis, and they told me I was talented too. Then, one of my classmates, who is usually very quiet, said she also played tennis. Not only did she play, but she took lessons. Although I'd bragged about my serve, I was no match for her. I felt lonely and insulted that everyone was paying attention to her and not me. She was usually very quiet, but suddenly I realized she knew more and had a lot more experience than me. Ren at the bus stop was just like that. I thought of myself as a demon now. I'd awakened a part of me that was half human and half demon, the part that lived in Onigafuchi village. In fact, I'd already stepped into a world where normal humans couldn't go. I'd already surpassed my human limits. I genuinely thought of myself as a superior being, having transcended the realm of mortals. Jeez, that's a sentence. But when my eyes met with Rena Ryugu's, I felt what I did long ago with tennis. Why? Why did I feel that way with Rena? I'd heard that in the animal world, during battle, animals glare at each other to display their strength. Only humans have to punch or kick each other to feel superiority or inferiority. Most animals can tell just by glaring at each other. In that case, could it be the same with Rena?
みーちゃん大丈夫？ああ、ごめん。ほらさ、昨日から寝不足で。ごめん。
Keiichi climbed up a ladder and tried to peek into the window on the second floor where Rika and Satoko lived. It was my job to hold down the ladder. Rena cautioned me to hold onto it tightly.
みーちゃん、私念のため本宅の方も見てくるね。すぐ戻るから。ごめん。よろしく。
Rena ran off after that. When I looked up, I saw Keiichi trying to open a window, but all of them were locked.
本宅ってなんだ？
Keiichi asked me from the top of the
フルデ
ladder.
家の本当の家だよ。両親が亡くなって以来、ずっと放置してあるそうだけど。
あ、そうか。リカちゃんのご両親って亡くなってるんだよな。
聡子も親はいないよ。お社様のたたりってことで、両親が崖から落っこちてね。お兄さんだったサトシ君もいなくなっちゃって。
サトシって前に聞いた名前だな。
He'd heard the name before? I felt anger growing inside of me. Don't you know whose desk you're using every day? You act as if it belongs to you. You drop food on it while eating lunch. You drool on it while taking a nap. Don't you know who it really belongs to? Why am I acting this way? I'm Mion. Satoshi-kun doesn't even exist anymore. He was deemed away. It's hardly Keiichi's fault that he didn't know. It really isn't his fault.
聡子はリカちゃんと一緒にこの小屋で暮らしてるんだよ。互いに身寄りのない一人ぼっち同士。助け合ってね。
本宅って言ったか？そっちで暮らした方が楽だろうに。
初めはそうしてたみたい。でも両親を思い出すから辛いって言って。
After everyone in Satoko's family died, she started living with Rika. It only made sense. Satoko and Rika were best friends, and Child Services just doesn't care, apparently. They didn't care about the Hojo family, the Furude family. They had been best friends since before the dam conflict. The reason why the curse never fell upon Satoko. Rika Furude probably had a lot to do with it. That made more sense than anything else, at least. Satoko was pardoned from the curse of the Hojo family, all thanks to Rika Furude's arrangements. Satoko had never been a victim on the night of Watanagashi. According to the curse system I'd uncovered, the last survivor of the Hojo family, still living in Hinamizawa, would be the perfect target for this year's curse. Yes, that was part of it, yes. Yeah, I had a tangent on this the other time, but this game is written by a government employee who was like, yeah, our government really sucks in a lot of ways. And some of those topics were child protective services, mental health awareness, and support for basically more rural people. He saw all those three as being major failures of the government and wanted to make a game to emphasize that. Therefore, whoever was responsible for executing the curse must have tried to take her life. However, nothing happened to her, proving that Satoko had escaped from the curse. That was really and truly infuriating. Yes, both family members... Yeah, so... Satoko, her father fell off a cliff into a river and died. Her mother, they presume the same happened, but her body was never recovered. And then, of course, her brother goes away, as we know in this game, the previous year. And then Rika, her father commits suicide. Is it? Or no, he dies of an illness. Sorry, he dies of an illness, and her mother commits suicide. But all they have is the suicide letter, and they never find a body. She might have been the head of the Furude family, but I still couldn't accept that such a little girl had enough power to protect her best friend. Shion must have had the same power then. Just like Rika protected Satoko, Shion could have protected Satoshi. Damn it. Damn it.
Rika-chanもSatokoも大変なんだな。
呪われてるんだよ。
え、ミオン、お前今なんて言った？
呪われてるって言ったの。
ミオン、お前なんて顔してんだよ。
北条聡子はね、お社様のたたりを一身に受けた呪われた子なの。
I can't accept that Satoko was pardoned from the curse, although she was a member of the cursed Hojo family. She was one of the cursed Hojos. Satoshi-kun wasn't pardoned, but Satoko was. She was cursed, but she got away. She escaped the curse. But Satoshi-kun didn't? I can't accept that. In fact, Satoko should have been the one to be cursed the most. He cornered Satoshi-kun physically and emotionally. That was the way things got weirder and weirder, and in the end, everything went crazy. No, just you went crazy. When I think back on it, it was Satoko who I hated most of all. She cornered Satoshi-kun. Okay, a bunch of bleeped out stuff. And as a result, Satoshi-kun disappeared. She started it. She caused it. If only she hadn't been there. Just as Rika Furude and Satoko had lived happily, maybe there had been a happy future for me too. Maybe Satoshi-kun and I could have started our lives together in Okonomiya. Yes, if I look at both the beginning and the end, it's so obvious. Satoko's existence caused everything. Satoshi-kun had to kill his aunt because of Satoko. The three families used that need to create the curse, and then they killed him. I think we're just the crazy one. The police were convinced he just ran away, but he'd never do that. He was the type of person who always did his best at everything, all by himself. He was doing the very best he could for his only sister, yet he was forced to vanish. He worked so hard for Satoko. And though he was living just for her, he was erased. Poor Satoshi-kun. He was so underappreciated. That girl knew no gratitude. She was cursed. If you got near her, you'd meet the same fate. You'd be cursed to die, or disappear. That really was it. She was the main cause behind it all. She wormed her way into Rika Furude's good graces. That was why the curse fell upon Satoshi-kun. She should have died first. And Satoshi-kun would still be alive. If he was alive, I could have done something for him. Can't forgive her. Can't forgive Satoko. Can't forgive that girl. There can be no peace with her. There can be no peace. She was the perfect target for the curse of 1983. The curse of Oyashiro-sama. They don't say anything, but yes, from what I know about the series, she's in the torture basement right now. And we're having all these wonderfully productive feelings about her right now. I'm sure she'll be totally fine when we see her next. Rika Furude, the reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama. Rika was dead. Yeah, I don't know why they cut it. It's so weird. The reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama had died. There was no more god in Hinamizawa to deliver the curse. I'm the one who has to deliver it now. I am Mion Sonozaki, the head of the Sonozaki family, one of the 3 families of Onigafuchi. Now that all the heads of the 3 families are gone, there's nobody to surpass me. I will deliver the curse of Oyashiro-sama and nobody else. I'll deliver it. I am the curse. I have become Oyashiro-sama. I felt hot bubbles boiling over deep inside of me. I could tell the demon inside of me wanted to roar. I noticed Keiichi was looking down at me. Remember, we're holding the ladder for him still, and we're having this, like, fuming rage. Calm down, Mion. He can't tell what you're thinking. Calm down. Calm down. At that point, I heard footsteps coming closer. I saw 4 or 5 adults, accompanied by Rena, running towards us with flashlights in their hands. One of them opened the lock on the cabin door, and we all went inside. Of course, there was nobody there. Satoko and Rika lived alone. I doubted Satoko would have left a note saying she was going over to the Sonozaki house when Rika was already there. But it wouldn't be fun if she had. Because of that, I hurried into the room ahead of Renan to make sure there was nothing left behind. The rumor of Rika and Satoko's disappearance spread around the village quickly. More and more villagers gathered at the Furude shrine. Acting in place of the head of the Sonozaki family, I commanded them to search the village. The villagers nodded and scattered. How long had it been since the last time I was truly Mion? I felt so pleased that my body almost went numb. Lots of villagers went in and out of the shrine. They yelled at each other that she was nowhere to be found. Some suggested other places to look, and they all left, made a lot of noise with their comings and goings. Members of the Women's Association brought out huge pots and gas cookers from the storage and got ready to cook for the men. That was when I noticed Keiichi unsteadily walking toward copse of dark pine trees. What was he thinking? How stupid of him to be alone on a night like this. If a person responsible for executing the curse was nearby, he wouldn't come back safely. Oh wait, that's us.
池の中も照らしたけど明るくなんないとわかんないよ。
ありがとうございます。婦人部の皆さんがお味噌汁を作ってくれてますので、召し上がって休んでください。
ミオンちゃん、あの二人って自転車どこに止めてたんか知ってるかい？
さあ、多分境内の階段の下じゃないかな。まさかあの階段を担いで上がったりはしないでしょう。
ないんだよね。二人の自転車がさ、どこかに行っちゃったんだろうかね。
自転車で遊びに行ったならそうかもしれんな。マジか。
だとするとひなみ沢の中にはいないんかもしれんな。そういえばリカちゃまがいなくなったってのは誰が最初に気づいたんだ？
ああ、ケイちゃんだけど、急に虫が知らせたんだとか。
前原屋敷のせがれさんか。なんや怪しいな。
そういえば前原家は来てないのか、この一大事の時に。
前原家は懲戒未加入だから青年団の連絡網に入ってないんよ。
なあ、すったらんしょうがな。俺入ったろ懲戒。あれさね、連絡網に名前が載ってないだけんと違う。連絡網新年に作ったきりやんね。 途中から越してきたから乗ってない。
前原のせがれさんの虫の知らせってのがどうもな。
第一発見者が一等怪しい言うやんね。そのせがれはどこ行ったんかいね。
さっき松林の方にふらふら行くのを見たよ。誰か呼んでくる？
Conveniently, I saw Keiichi and Rena walking back
ケ
toward
イちゃん
us.
どこ行ってたんだよ。ケイちゃんまでいなくなったのかと心配したよ。
すまん。
It looked like nothing had happened to Keiichi. If so, that's fine. That means I took care of all my enemies.
おやおやおや。
Dang
美
it,
味
cops.
しい匂いが漂ってくると思ったら、これはぜひご評判に預かりたいですね。
I heard the loud, sticky voice of a middle-aged man. It was Oishi. Must be confused about this year's incident. The scale of the curse this time is nothing like the previous ones. Oishi's information network is about equal to or better than that of the elders on the town council. In other words, he could easily uncover a rumor that was circulating through the underside of the village. Must have came here to see if the disappearances of Kimiyoshi and Rika had something to do with the changing of the lock on the ritual storehouse's door. The police will come for me sooner or later. I am Mion Sonozaki. By removing all of the heads of the three families, my enemies, I have become the head in their place. I can't allow Mion Sonozaki to continue existing. I'll have to destroy the existence of the head of the Sonozaki family. When I destroy my own position, that is when my revenge will come to an end. More than likely, I'll have Oishi witness my final moments. My eyes and Oishi's met. Damn it, he thinks I'm suspicious already. You're right, Oishi. I did it. Mion Sonozaki, the head of the Sonozaki family, is the culprit. Hehehehe. Oh, finally, this chapter comes to an end. That was like a 2.5 hour chapter. We unlocked the achievement, The Path to Hell. Wonderful. Okay, we got 2 tips. We got the journal entries, 195 and 196. Rika Furude. She was the head of the Furude family. She never even appeared at the most important meetings. Even if she did show up, nobody would ask for her opinion. Never really mattered if she was there or not. A legend in the Furude family says that if their firstborn child is a girl for 8 generations in a row, that 8th girl would be the reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama. According to Takano-san's research, Rika Furude is very likely to be the one. Surely, she must be an important icon in the cult of Oyashiro-sama. The true believers are devoted to her. It was quite surprising to me that Rika Furude herself was the assassin. It's unbelievable. It's just too abnormal. Usually a VIP like her wouldn't be the one to assassinate someone. It's possible that it was a Rika Furude look-alike. In the way she moved, she seemed experienced in fighting. It's not normal that a small girl like her would jump me without faltering. I just got lucky because I had a stun gun. Without it, I don't know what would have happened. She was far more skilled than she looked. Was she trained as an assassin? Was it a body double? Everything is a mystery, including that creepy syringe. What's going on? Can't understand. She was like an apparition or something. Did Oryo Sonozaki know of her existence? What is hiding on the underside of this village? That underside might run much deeper than I thought. Okay, that was 195. We got 196. At this point, I believe that I can complete my revenge by destroying the curse system entirely. That means that I have to eliminate the heads of all the 3 families. The successor Shion, and the assassins who are after Keiichi. Although Keiichi's completely unguarded, he hasn't been attacked so far. Even though I told everybody that he was one of the trespassers. In fact, it's me who's being attacked. Rika Furude attacked me. According to my theory, Keiichi should make for very attractive bait, and nobody has done anything to harm him, since Rika Furude attacked me. It might be that the opposing Furude family is a greater taboo than trespassing in the ritual storehouse. Rika Furude had said that the intrusion wasn't a big deal. She sounded like she was going to let Keiichi walk. And after I accused her of that, Rika Furude attacked me that very night. Are there two different factions? Does one handle trespassers in the ritual storehouse, while the other protects the religious doctrines of the Furude family? No, that doesn't make sense. Tomitake-san's death must have been caused by the Furude family's injections. Rika showed me the effect of it herself, clawing out her own throat and dying like that. Tomitake-san shouldn't have been subjected to the curse, at least according to the system of the Furude family. I don't understand why Keiichi hasn't been attacked. Did he have something exempting him from the curse, unlike Takano-san? Just like how only Satoko Hojo was spared. Keiichi's a friend of Rika Furude's. Does that mean if you were close to her, you wouldn't be cursed? Was she more important than the whole system? It's impossible. Hag was at the top of the curse system. Rika couldn't have been higher up than her. Scribble, scribble. Are there multiple ways to determine the subject of the curse? Are there as many curse execution groups as there are subjects? Do they all work separately? It's a mess. None of my theories add up. If I mess up my reasoning, I might make the wrong person the target of my revenge. I don't understand. Oh. I went too far. Let me pull up that log. I don't understand who the enemy is, or how Satoshi-kun was made to disappear. How much did the hag know? That really was a huge loss. I have so many things I want to ask her. Killed her by accident. Shit. In that respect, I have already failed in my revenge. The underside of Hinamizawa really does run too deep. Scribble, scribble. The whole page is blacked out with scribbles. Okay. So, how many chapters do we have left? I think we have 2 chapters left in this game. So let's see what we got.
Yo! 皆さんまだ生きてる?
Kimiyoshi was hanging from the collar with his head turned up to the ceiling. He didn't even move when I walked in. Maybe he's already dead. Satoko was lying on a cross-shaped restraining table. She glared at me with red and swollen eyes, which must have been that way from crying. I'd wanted to put her on that special restraining table to pound nails into her hands, but Satoko was too small for that. I walked up to Kimiyoshi and poked his body with my toe, but with the sound effect that I just literally kicked his side in. There was no response.
君吉のおじいちゃん、死んだ? 人殺し。人殺し。
Maybe Satoko had witnessed Kimiyoshi's last moments. I took a thick knife from the wall and stabbed Kimiyoshi with it. There was no response.
君吉のおじいちゃん、生きてるなら正直に生きてるって言ってくださいよ。死体のふりして逃げ出そうなんて通用しないから。
I walked over to the pulley that was suspending
最終
Kimiyoshi.
通告。生きてる？生きてるなら返事してね。
I paused just for a moment, then turned the pulley. Kimiyoshi's body swayed strangely in the air. It looked much more like a corpse like that.
どうしてこんなことをするんですの、シオンさん。ん？ああ、なるほど。
The door to the huge cave was still open. I bet Satoko had talked to the one in the cell while I was gone. That's how she knows my name. Although that's actually not my name at all.
シオンじゃなくて、私が本当のミオン。あんたたちがミオンだと思ってた方がシオン。まあややこしいだろうから理解しなくて結構。よくもみんなをリカを。
I had allowed Satoko to watch me take care of Rika's body. Of course, I let her see Rika's neck, too.
フルでリカは自業自得。 あいつは私を殺しに来たんだよ。返り討ちにしたのさ。
そんなことあるわけありませんわ。リカがそんなことするわけない。
信じないならそれでもいいよ。あんたにはどうでもいいことだし。
私をどうするつもりなんですの？
殺す。
Satoko's eyes went wide. She was expecting my answer, I'm sure, but she still looked shocked. I bet she didn't expect me to state it so openly. I heard the noise of something hitting iron bars echoing in the huge cave. Shien's voice echoed there as well. I answered her clearly.
今頃罪が分かったかい？あんたはそれをサトシ君の時にしなかった。だからサトシ君は虫けらのように殺されてしまったんだ。あんたはサトシ君を救える100億の瞬間を見捨てた、見殺した。そうさ、それがあんたの罪なのさ。
Before even finishing my sentence, I stabbed Satoko's right arm. Her blood started to flow out. This was nothing compared to what happened to Rika Furude. I twisted the knife into Satoko's arm. She bit down hard, crying. Why couldn't you say that for Satoshi-kun? It's too late now. I was the one screaming like you back then, but no matter how loudly I screamed, it never reached them, spared him, or saved him. I want you to go through the same thing I did. I stabbed Satoko's arm repeatedly. The knife kept hitting her bone. It didn't feel like I was cutting any of her flesh. These are cheery thoughts.
Yoshi-on. じゃあこうしよう。サトコの助け方を教えてあげよう。あんたはこれから1000回ごめんなさいって言うんだよ。言い終わったらサトコを解放する。どう？私は嘘をつかないよ。あんたがけじめをつけたってことをちゃんと理解してね。
Oh, we tell lies, believe me.
どうするの？ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんな
started apologizing like a broken record. She's so stupid and honest. She's not even thinking of cheating. I bet she really will count to 1,000. I stabbed Satoko in the wrist. There, I felt something hard. I guess I either crushed her bone or scraped it. It must have been extremely painful for her. Satoko screamed. Dang it, man, why do I play games where they repeat words? Shien's voice got louder, as if trying to overpower that scream.
泣くのはあんたの1000倍特許だね。泣けばニーニーが来てくれる。ニーニーがかけてきて私を跳ね飛ばしてあんたを助けてくれるのかな。
The knife was still in Satoko's wrist. I slid it toward her elbow.
Satoko? 私の声が聞こえる?
Thank you, ma'am. Dang it, ma'am. Why do I play games where they repeat words?
聞いてる?
We accept all kinks here. I slapped her face several times and made her look at me.
あんたは自分の罪が分かってる?
So between like this scene right here, which I believe is canonically called the crucifixion scene, because Satoko is like spread like this and just stabbing into her arm, and the scene with Rika, I think it's by far the and the nail scene, it is by far the goriest of any of the arcs. If there was one arc you were going to skip because you don't like gore, it should be this one.
そう。あんたはニーニーって泣けばよかった。泣きさえすればいつもサトシ君がかばってくれた。でもね、サトシ君の負担ってものを考えたことがある？
We're at quote 60. We'll be at quote 69 soon.
サトシ君はね、あんたのヒーローでなければ不死身でもない。あんたと同じに傷つけば血も流れ、痛めばうめく、全く同じ人間なの。あんたの代わりに矢面に立ってくれたサトシ君の痛みをあんたは理解していたの？してない。しようとさえしなかった。あんたはサトシ君に甘えてた。サトシ君に寄生していた。そうさ、サトシ君が傷ついて流すその血を舐めてお前は生きてきたのさ。
You were not expecting Shion to be the one who went bonkers prior to the very end?
そんな呪われた身でありながらこの後に及んでまだサトシ君の名を呼ぶのか。あんたはその罪を今から償うのさ。私の手によってね。好きなだけ泣き叫べばいい。
You hate that a part of you can understand and sympathize and could see this coming?
そしていくら泣いてもサトシ君が助けに来てくれないことを知る。
Yeah, that's one of the things I really like about this game series is even the characters that go absolutely crazy, whoever plays the villain, at some sense you can feel for them. Even if you're like Shion, I can understand, your feelings about how your family treated you, how your sister treated you, how they treated Satoshi-kun, all of that. Your actions are absolutely wrong for sure, but I can understand where you came from.
そう、お前が追い詰めた、お前がいなくした、お前がサトシ君を殺してしまったんだ。
Ha! Ha ha! Ha ha! After telling her all I'd been wanting to, I exhaled roughly.
どうしたよ。右腕はもう感覚がない？じゃあ左腕にするか。
Yeah, it's the idea, like, at some point you have to stand up for yourself, you have to make a stand. It just so happens that the way she took her stand is entirely wrong. But you can see, like, why she had to do something. It was either that, or spend her whole life being, like, abused, being a wreck, and no one... Dang it, internet. Don't do that. And all of her family treating her like garbage, like she shouldn't exist. Internet, be cool. I saw that little blip. I stabbed her left arm repeatedly and her blood flowed out. But Satoko's reactions weren't fun anymore. Didn't cry or scream like she did before. That put me in a bad mood, so I stabbed the back of her left hand and twisted the knife again. But Satoko still just moaned. She didn't scream anymore.
どうしたの？叫ぶと私を喜ばすと思って、せめて悲鳴を絞って抵抗ってわけ。そりゃいいや。
Satoko was unfazed by my mad laughter. She looked at me with gritted teeth and resignation.
ええ、私もそう思ってましたね。
Honestly, I don't know how you are still conscious at this point in time. At this point in time, she has like a dozen cuts into her arm. She's been sliced from her wrist through to her elbow, through one of her hands, all down the other arm. She's been bleeding out for a while.
Huh?
Yeah. Satoko... Satoko is interesting because we get to see both the sides of her. We get to see right here where she's demonized for how she acts, and we have to remember she's still a child. She's still like whatever she is, like 11 years old, 10 years old, and probably at an emotional level she is much, much younger than that, having lost her parents and being raised in a house where she's basically been abused since like 5 or 6, whenever that was. She for sure is not emotionally 11. She's probably at like 6, 7. Basically, not much growth has happened since her parents died. And then on the other side, in Chapter 3, when we had Uncle Hunter, we see the side of her where she does have friends who care about her, who want her to get out of that situation, and she stands her ground saying, like, no, this is my fight, I need to deal with this, it's my responsibility alone. And you get these both sides of her, and in both those situations, it does not work out for her. Yeah, she has been the most openly broken. Shion is another character who, since about 5, has probably not had so much emotional growth. Like, she probably has some, because at least she was in a school and a location where she was allowed to grow and stuff like that. But in terms of like love, family, all of that stuff has been stunted since she was 5. And yeah, and you wonder why these characters who don't have emotional support, don't have mental support, don't have family with them, or like friends that they feel they can trust, end up in these situations. Yeah.
私がニーニーを追い詰めたからいなくなってしまった。ニーニーがいなくなったその日にもう気づいてましたのよ。
But and of course we just talked about that, and then right here Satoko shows a piece of maturity where she has recognized, yes, this was and still is a flaw about myself, and that caused problems. So right here, she is showing maturity and self-reflection and all of those things that we haven't really seen from her, I don't think, up until this point.
私が甘えていた。ニーニーのすねをかじり続けてしまった。
And I have to point this out. What's playing in the background now? It's Shion's song. But it's not from Shion, it's from Satoko to Satoshi. Not from Shion. The song has changed to a different character, still talking about the same person.
ニーニーも辛かったはずなのに、私はニーニーにすがることをやめられなかった。その点につきましては、あなたの言う通りです。
It's almost as if at this point in time, Shion has lost the right to this song. Because she has gone too crazy. She's no longer doing this for Satoshi. Satoko is. Satoko is the one speaking on behalf of Satoshi because she is still sane.
弁解の余地なんてありませんでしたよ。
Satoko didn't sound as if she was mocking me or trying to please me. She spoke so
ちょっ
naturally.
と意外だね。あんたが自分の罪に自覚があったとはね。
ニーニーはきっと帰ってきてくれる。いつかきっと帰ってくるんですの。でもね、帰ってきたら私もう一人前になっているところを見せるんですのよ。私もうニーニーに甘えない。背中に隠れたりしない。しっかりした一人前になったことを教えてあげるんですの。
帰ってきたらいいね。帰ってきたら。
I stabbed Satoko's arm in a mad frenzy. But she still didn't even scream. She bit down tightly and swallowed her pain instead.
ニーニーはきっと帰っ ってきてくれますの。絶対に帰ってきてくれますの。それまで待ってるんですのよ。そしてニーニーに今まで甘えてきて本当にごめんなさいって謝るんですの。それまで負けるものか。もう私は絶対にニーニーに甘えたりしないの。どんな苦難にもニーニーの助けを呼ばない。泣かない。
I had to, man.
泣いたらニーニーが来て
To
しまう。
me, it is a crucial piece of information that I think is necessary to state the power dynamic shift, or not necessarily power, the shift between Shion and Satoko at this point in time.
だから私は一人で耐えてみせるんですのよ。上等抜かすな小娘が。私をいじめて楽しいならいくらでもお楽しみあそばせ。でもね、それで私がニーニーに助けを求めたりするのを期待しているんでしたらお気の毒ですわね。私は
And when I said they made like 1,000 versions of this song, I was not joking. In this game alone, I can think of at least 3 or 4 versions of the song they made just for this game that we have heard. And I know when they put out the album for this game, the song album, it had, what was it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 versions, I think, of the song. Most of which I don't think are actually in the game.
私が泣き虫じゃなくなったことを見ていてくれる。それをニーニーが見届けてくれたとき、きっとニーニーは帰ってきてくれるんですのよ。さあ、いくらでも試してみろ。私は泣かない。涙も見せない。王女サトコがどれほどの強さを持つか試してみろ。
Shit. I'll show her. Take that and that and that.
ニーニー、見てますわよね。見ててくれますわよね。サトコはこんなにも我慢強くなったんですのよ。もう何が起こってもへこたれませんの。こんなことこの程度で、こんなくらいで私は泣かない。助けを呼ばない。耐えられる。耐えてみせる。ニーニーが私に代わって傷ついてくれた痛みにはこんなのはるかに及ばないんだから。
Shit. Why doesn't she feel the pain? Doesn't it hurt? There's no way it doesn't. I've been stabbing her so much, and the knife went in so deep. Her blood is poured to the ground. I've been turning her flesh inside out. How can she still talk that way? Why doesn't she cry and scream? After Satoko said what she wanted to say, she shut her mouth. She didn't say a word after that. No matter how much I stabbed her, twisted the knife, tore at her, and ripped out her flesh, she didn't make a sound. What in the world is this? This isn't the Satoko I know. Satoko was never as strong as this. If Satoko was this strong, it wouldn't have been a burden to Satoshi-kun. It's almost like people grow and change. Why wasn't she as strong before? It's too late. Everything is too late. This idiot's maturity came far too late. Her blood made my hand slippery and I dropped the knife. Adrenaline, and honestly, we're looking at the point in time where she probably has like 3, 4, 5 dozen incisions on her arm. I'm guessing a lot of nerve endings are broken at this point in time also. I was covered in blood from head to toe. Satoko was still enduring the pain. She was enduring this cruelty so she could display her strength. I couldn't defeat Satoko. I couldn't crush her strength. Satoko had achieved her goal. She had become independent, so she didn't need Satoshi-kun anymore. She still believes Satoshi-kun will come back one day. She looks forward to a day when she can show her brother how strong she had become. But Satoshi-kun hasn't seen any of that. Said I never even thought that Satoshi-kun would come back was the one who witnessed her strength. What was I thinking? I thought Satoshi-kun was dead. No, I assumed he was. Why did I? Never even thought, waiting for him. I didn't believe he would come back. I didn't wait. I tried to avenge him, but I guess what I really did was forget about him. Satoko is different. She never even thought he was dead. Maybe she did a little, but even so, she waited. She waited for a day when she could show him how much she'd grown. She waited patiently. What about me? I didn't do anything. I wanted to forget about my sadness, so I tried to find my enemy. I became a demon, using revenge as an excuse, that I didn't have to think like a human. I lost. I couldn't endure the pain of waiting for Satoshi-kun, so I chose to become a demon. In other words, I got rid of my soul, the soul that loves Satoshi-kun. In other words, I got rid of Satoshi-kun himself. Satoko won. While she had been gritting her teeth before, her mouth had gone slack. Her eyelids were half shut, but I could see her eyes a little. They looked like she was dreaming about something happy. Satoshi-kun was there in her eyes. Satoko endured till Satoshi-kun came for her. Satoko ran up to Satoshi-kun. She jumped onto him. Satoshi-kun hugged her. They spun around. You can cry now. Satoshi-kun told Satoko that, and she cried very hard. Satoshi-kun rubbed her head so gently. We'll be together forever, he said, and continued to rub her head so gently. So gently. Satoshi-kun, I was waiting for you too. What meaningless words. He was already dead inside of me. I never believed in our reunion. How pitiful of me to say that, just because I saw Satoko and Satoshi-kun together again. Satoshi-kun hugged Satoko. His eyes met mine. Shion. Satoshi-kun said, I asked you a favor. What favor? I tried to remember. What kind of favor did Satoshi-kun ask me? Satoshi-kun looked at me so sadly because I couldn't remember. That sad look tore my heart to shreds. The blood flowing out of me wasn't as pretty as Satoko's blood. My blood was a slimy liquid, like vomit with filthy chunks of food in it. That was what filled my body.
たたりだろうと、この村の何者かの陰謀だろうと、僕は絶対に消えない。消されない。消えないよ、サトシ君は。消えないよ。サトコにあのぬいぐるみを買ってやるまではね。もうすぐお給料がもらえることになってる。その日までは絶対に消えない。
Huh? A memory of the past, but when? Ah, of course. This is a memory of the day before last year's Wadanagashi. Satoshi-kun called me on the phone then.
おばさんが帰ってきたからもう切るよ。あ、うん。ミオン。何?
His aunt was home, so I'm sure he wanted to hang up as quickly as possible. Satoshi-kun paused and spoke.
サトコのこと頼むからね。
My knees and elbows started to shake. My teeth chattered and my fingers were shivering. Satoshi-kun, asked me to. What have I done? I couldn't wait for Satoshi-kun to come back, so I filled myself with evil thoughts and acted as I pleased. I didn't believe he'd ever return. I even forgot about Satoshi-kun's last request. How can I say I love him? I just wanted to forget about my feelings of loss, so I made myself all bloody. How can I welcome him back now? I didn't believe Satoshi-kun would come back. I didn't believe Satoshi-kun was alive. I didn't think he was alive, so I thought he was dead. I believed in his death. I killed him and myself. Nobody else did. I did that. But Satoko believed until the very end. She was rewarded in her final moments. Satoko wasn't here anymore. She had no more need for her bloody, painful shell. But I'm still here. Wrapped in my bloody, tainted flesh. I'm going to rot inside of it. Satoshi-kun was waiting for both Satoko and me. But to be reunited with Satoshi-kun, we had to keep our promises. Satoko's promise was to be strong. Satoko kept that promise until the bitter end, and Satoshi-kun embraced her. My promise was to take care of Satoko for Satoshi-kun. I never kept the promise from the beginning. Therefore, Satoshi-kun will never embrace me. Even if I were to rub Satoko's wounds and ask if they hurt, that wouldn't mean anything. That was when I felt something behind me. It wasn't Satoshi-kun or the thing that scared me before. I didn't know who it was. It was right there, criticizing me for my mistakes. Then, I finally realized it. That thing is me. I'd always been there, standing behind myself and watching me break that promise. Satoshi-kun asked me to take care of Satoko, yet I didn't keep that promise. I've been watching that happen. I cried, gave up on myself. Wait, Satoshi-kun gave up on me, and I gave up on myself. What will happen to me now? I don't want to be in this darkness. I don't want to be all bloody. Please don't leave me. If I give up on myself, what will happen to my body? There will be nothing left. The only thing I'll have left in me is an evil demon. Ah, I get it. I've known it for a long time now. I am nothing but a demon. A demon doesn't feel sad. A demon's heart can never be in pain. A demon doesn't cry. Shion was still apologizing. She believed that was the only way for her to save Satoko. Her voice was growing hoarse and weak.
Shion! もう数えなくていいよ。ご苦労さん。
I guess she realized what happened to Satoko. Shion cried in her cell.
鬼ってのも悪くないね。人が泣いたり叫んだりするのを見るのがこんなにも楽しいものだなんて知らなかったよ。私も人の世ってやつを十分に楽しませてもらったからね。そのうち自らの命を絶って鬼の国へ帰らせてもらうよ。でも安心しな。その前にちゃんとあんたは殺していく。あんたを殺すために今があるんだもの。人を嘆かせて泣き声をすするのが私の鬼の優越だもんね。そうだ、あんたはケイちゃんが好きだったね。よし、あんたの前でケイちゃんを引き裂いてあげるよ。
Okay,
これは
Chan.
極めつけだね。その後にあんたを殺し、私も殺そう。そうさ、鬼ヶ淵村は鬼の村。かつて鬼ヶ淵より湧き出した鬼が村を襲った伝承のある村。私もまた伝承の鬼たちのように猛威を振るい、そしてお社様の裁きを待とう。それでこそひなみ沢村にふさわしい災禍と言えるだろうね。 ケイちゃんですか？私です。シオンです。電話なかなか出なかったんで、お留守かと思って切ろうとしてたんですよ。
ごめん。ちょっとお風呂に入っててさ。
それでもご家族の方が電話を取りませんか？ひょっとしてケイちゃんの家、今ご両親はお留守なんですか？
いや別に留守ってわけじゃ。そんなことより聞いたか、リカちゃんとサトコの件。
いえ、結局あの後どうなったんですか？見つかったんですか？
Yeah, like Shion has that brief moment of lucidity of like, oh crap, this is all the stuff I was supposed to do and didn't. And this is why I feel this way. And then she's like, well, screw it, we've come this far.
見つからなかった。
ケイちゃん、どうか気を落とさないで。
リカちゃんとサトコはさらわれたんだよな。
Yes.
はい。それは間違いないでしょうね。
リカちゃんとサトコは。いや、ごめん。村長さんはさらわれてどうなったと思う？まだ生きてるんだろうか？
Keiichi sounded confused. He wanted to believe Satoko and Riko were still alive, which is why he was asking. Keiichi was just like Satoko. Unless the culprit was after money, the abductee would usually get killed right away. I'd never assumed they'd still be alive. Keiichi was trying to hold on to a little hope. I could feel his strength. It was much greater than mine. I'm a demon, so I didn't come up with an excuse.
殺されちゃったんだと思います。
おいおい、そんなにあっさり。
人間をさらってその状態を維持するのってとても大変なことだと思います。人質にするんでもない限り、用が済んだら殺しちゃうのが一番合理的じゃないかと。
殺しちゃうって。
I speak from experience.
人の命を何だと思ってやがるんだ。
恐ろしいことだとは思いますが、多分そうではないかと。
村長が殺されたということは、リカちゃんやサトコも同じように殺されたかもしれないということなのか？いや、そんなはずは。どっかのじじいとはわけが違うぞ。
We're currently Shion on the phone to Keiichi, because we promised him that we would phone him back nightly at the same time so we could trade information.
リカちゃんだぞ。サトコだぞ。そんなにあっさりと殺すはずは。
Keiichi was still refusing to believe what I said. He fought so hard because he didn't want to kill his friends within him. I wasn't like that. I killed Satoshi-kun within me so easily. I blame Shion for not protecting Satoshi-kun, but I killed him so easily.
リカちゃんとサトコちゃんも同じだと思った方がいいでしょうね。
Hey son, is everything okay on the phone there? No? Okay. We'll leave you alone. Keiichi roared and cried. It was like their deaths were physically agonizing to him.
どうして人をさらったり殺したりするんだよ。たたりだかなんだか知らないが、人の命ってのはそんなに安いのかよ。あっさり消したり殺したり。
ええ、全くです。悪魔ですよね。
I'm the demon. I laughed at myself. I was sure Keiichi didn't notice.
教えてくれ。どうしてこのひなみ沢では綿流しの夜に人が死ななければならないことになってしまったんだ。
それは私が知りたいです。
もうダム計画との戦いは終わったんだぞ。なのにどうしてまだたたり足りないんだ。
Oh, not enough, Keiichi. Not enough.
どうして。
We need to increase our kill count.
ケイちゃんの気持ち、私もよくわかります。ダム闘争はとっくの昔に終わったんです。 なのに毎年お社様のたたりという名の殺人と失踪が繰り返されている。なぜ？どうしてなんですか？全然関係ない人もいた。たたられるのに不相応な人だっていたのに、どうして？どうして？
それを俺が聞いてるんだ。
I love his yells.
それを私だって知りたいんですよ。
Of course, the curse of Oyashiro-sama never existed. It was just a bizarre environment that allowed people to kill in the name of Oyashiro-sama. The environment and nothing more. Nothing would have happened unless there were demons who danced within it.
お社様のたたりなんて非現実的なものは初めから存在しません。ケイちゃんの言う通り、村の何者かがお社様のたたりというもっともらしい大義名分を利用して綿流しのたびに殺しと失踪を繰り返しているんです。奴らは狡猾でした。たたりを都合よく利用して村の旧敵を毎年2人ずつ消し去るシステムを構築していったんです。そしてこのシステムで今年は高野さんたちが殺された。
じゃあ2人で十分じゃねえかよ。どうして村長やリカちゃんやサトコまで殺されなくちゃならないんだよ。それに俺は過去のことは今さらどうでもいいんだ。リカちゃんとサトコがなぜ殺されなくちゃならなかったのか。どうしてなんだ。サトコには打ち明けですらないんだぞ。どうしてサトコまで。どうしてなんだ。
Satoshi-kun was speaking through Keiichi's mouth. How could I respond? I didn't know what to say. I could only feel myself being stabbed by the sharpness of those words.
もういじめないでください。私だって何が何だかわからないんです。西宮殿に忍び込んだあの晩から全てが変わってしまった。あの晩高野さんたちが死んだと聞き耳を疑いました。そしてすぐに気づいたんです。今度は自分が狙われる立場になったんだって。忍び込んだのは私たち4人。私とケイちゃんだけが都合よく許してもらえるわけがない。そう思った時、それがどれだけ心細くて恐ろしいことだったかケイちゃんには分かりますよね。だから私、君吉のおじいちゃんに打ち明けたんです。君吉のおじいちゃん怒らなかった。そしてにっこり笑って、しおんちゃんがちゃんと反省してるなら鬼隠しになんかなるものかって。本当に笑いながら。
Like what Shion says on the phone to Keiichi is like half truths and half lies. Like what she's saying right now, this is a conversation that happened between her and Kimiyoshi. A bunch of the other stuff, she's like half telling the truth of like stuff that maybe at one point is what she knew or what she felt, but it's clearly not the case now. And then some stuff's just a straight up right lie, like, I don't know where they are, maybe they're dead. They're dead, we killed them, they're in our basement. Yeah, this is true. having something there to make it a half-truth is better. I remembered Uncle Kimiyoshi speaking ill of Satoshi-kun. I killed him, but everyone in Hinamizawa did that. I wasn't the only one at fault.
村長に打ち明けたんだよ。ごめんな、シオン。悲しい気持ちのところに追い打ちをかけるようで。
Not that you'd know.
シオンは打ち明けたんだよな。君吉のおじいちゃん、つまり村長に。
はい。
いつ打ち明けたんだよ。
Keiichi's tone was becoming sharper. That edge was cruel, but it was a sharp conviction. It wasn't a dull edge that caused excessive pain, it had a clean, pleasant sharpness to
村
it.
長さんは重い病を患ってて、病院にかかっていたという話は知ってるか。
ケイ ちゃん、それが何か。
答えてくれ。知らないなら知らないと答えればいい。
痔だったのは知ってます。座る時とか辛そうでしたから。
病院に通ってたんだ。どこの病院かは知ってるよな。
ごめんなさい、それはちょっと知りませんけど。でもケイちゃん、それが一体何の。
単刀直入に聞きたいんだ。シオンはいつ村長に打ち明けたんだ。どこで、いつ。大雑把でいいから教えてほしいんだ。
ケイちゃん、なんでそんなことを。
Very good, Keiichi Maibara. You know who I am, don't
あり
you?
えないんだよ。村長が失踪した日、朝から消えるまでシオンには接触できる機会はありえないんだ。
そんな。
村長は朝一で誰にも内緒の大学病院へ一人で診察に出かけた。シオンは今この病院を知らないと言った。だから帰ってくるまで村長と接触することはできないはずだ。そうだろう。帰りの電車が事故で遅れたので自宅に帰ってきたのは会合の始まる直前だった。つまり会合が始まるまでの時間にも打ち明ける時間的余裕はないんだ。シオンも一緒に会合に出たのか。そして会合の席上で打ち明けたのか。ここで打ち明けなきゃもう時間がないもんな。会合が終わった後、村長は帰宅途中で失踪するんだから。
実は介護にで。
あの日シオンが行くと言ったバイトすら君は欠勤してるんだ。もっと端的に言おう。君は俺と一緒に行った図書館以降誰にも目撃されていない。
ケイちゃん、
その時シオンは綿流しの翌日に失踪したんだ。
Bingo, Kei-chan. I'm impressed.
大石さんは君がすでに失踪していると言っているんだ。でもシオンはこうして毎晩俺に電話をかけてきてくれただろう。頼むシオン、俺が言ったことが間違ってるならそうだと言ってくれ。シオン、頼むから。
Corner me even further. Corner me so the demon inside can't come up with excuses, so that it can't escape.
シオン、お前は村長に会ってなんかないんだ。もし会ったとしたなら。
The only time I could possibly have seen him on that day
村
was...
長が会合を終えた後、すなわち失踪する直前、もしくは失踪してからしかありえないんだ。
And we finally gone insane. Please catch me or please provoke me. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Mim. Click. I screeched and screeched with laughter, then slammed down the phone. Very good, Kei-chan. That's right, it's me. I'm the one. Hurry and corner me. Hurry, let me be free. Was he going to tell the police, or was he going to come by here by himself? I wondered which it would be. If the police came, I'd struggle as much as I was able. I'd see how good Oishi would be at catching a demon. If Kei-chan came alone, that wouldn't be smart of him. He couldn't complain about being eaten by a demon then. I'm gonna kill him. Yeah, she's at the point where she both, I think, wants to be caught, wants it to end, because she's broken inside. But she also, at some part of her, wants to keep going and see how far she can take this. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him gruesomely while Shion watches. Therefore, Kei-chan, you shouldn't hold back. I only ever thought you were just a funny guy. I never thought I could expect so much from you.